Good morning, everyone. I am glad that you've woke up this morning in a good frame of mind and that you get up and get out and enjoy the day. I'm sure that you had a beautiful Thanksgiving. And if you didn't, you were alive to see a brand new day. And yet, we have to take advantages of the day because once that day is gone, we never see it again. But I am so blessed, so blessed, so blessed. And um, no matter what goes in and out of the day and what happens in the day, we just got to love one ourselves, love God, love our family, love each and every one of ourselves, in order to make this world a better place. In order to make this world a better place, for it all starts with us independently finding the love and kindness in our hearts and sharing it with one another. And that once we do that, share from person to person to person to person, and eventually we're going to find the world in love with each other. I know that may sound strange, but all it takes is a little kindness and a little love, a whole lot of love, to get rid of all the hate that we have been exposed to this past few years. Um, I am just floored and just in shock to have seen everything that people were capable of. The evilness that showed its presence was just so unreal. You know, we know that evil is out here, we know hatred is out here, but to see it on the level that 2020 has allowed us to see has also taught us this is not what we want. We don't want all all of this hatred showing up, people feeling like they're in their rights to show up with guns and do whatever they need to do. They feel like doing, placing other people's lives in danger behind their actions. And that is just not called for. Now, protesting is one thing, and it's okay to express how you feel, but when it becomes to the part of you're looting, you're damaging property, you're acting like wild animals, which I really believe that we were better than. But this year has shown me that we are not. And in fact, it also showed me that we're not better than the animals, but the animals are better than us. Through all of the hatred that man has shown each other in these past few years, the animals themselves have shown complete difference. Um, they become friends with the different species. You see a cat and a horse, a donkey and a pig, or a chicken and a cow showing affection to each other. And they're the ones that are showing us of how we need to be showing love towards one another. If you could not see that, then you were not looking. And it didn't matter to you. Only thing that mattered to you at that time was getting your voice heard and just showing your anger and showing your disappointment. But there's many other ways that we can do what you did without having to take it into such of evil violence. But that was your choice, and for most of you, you will have to suffer the consequences. There's always consequences that comes with our actions, no matter what our actions are, there are always consequences. If we love one another and show one another, there's a flow of rivers of water of kindness getting ready to happen. But if you flood the world with hatred, that's all you get is a world full of hatred. And the one thing about me personally, hatred is not something that I want in my heart. I do not want to hate anyone, even though it makes it hard to love someone or to like someone. But still, my goal is to love you regardless of what you're doing. But at the same time, it's for us as adults to wake up and start acting like adults. Our children saw adults acting worse than children, and that should not have never been seen. A child cannot grow if they're looking at your actions and your ugliness and your unhappiness and your discontentment. A child cannot grow up in that and be a loving person because the environment does not include love. It does not include peace in the house. It does not support unity in the house. And this is the things that we must have in our house. But yet, when we come on the outside, these are the things that we need to be showing each other. It's okay to speak, even though we may have a mask on. We can still speak and say hello. Um, it's not like we can't talk through the mask. We may have to talk a little louder or a little clearer because it is a little difficult to understand sometimes um, when we're trying to talk through the mask. So it do kind of get difficult, but at the same time, our eyes tells the story. You know, they always said that the eyes are the doorways to your soul. And I really do believe that I can look in your eyes and tell whether your hello was real. I can tell within your voice whether you meant it or not. And this is how everybody, should be. You should be aware of your actions on a daily basis, on a 24-hour basis, on a 7-day a week base. Um, the last thing that you will want is to find yourself um, one serving time for your misconduct, going to jail, doing this here because you were not prepared with those rioters. There's going to be repercussions behind that when they do catch up with you, and trust me, they will, especially the groups that destroyed that Walmart. And everyone, you got to realize we got cameras everywhere. You just cannot get away and think that you've gotten away and you weren't caught somehow. But that's not true. We have cameras everywhere and they're picking up on everything. So if you do not want to be caught doing something you have no business doing, then don't do it, because I promise you, those cameras are going to show everything that you did it. It's going to show your attitude in which you did it in, especially with these officers that have gone away and that have gone off to the left. With those officers, and every time they get recorded doing something stupid. They get recorded doing something they have no business doing, and then all of a sudden they don't want nobody filming them. Well, if you're not doing wrong, you should not have no problem in doing what's right and having yourself recorded, because, as I said, the cameras are not going to go anywhere anymore. The cameras, in fact, there are going to be more cameras out here. In fact, my phone, and by me being on my camera doesn't mean that somebody else isn't watching through my cameras. Like the other week, I was listening to something on YouTube, and all of a sudden I heard somebody listening in. This was not where it was being recorded or at the end of a recording. This was someone that was literally listening in on my conversation, although I might not have been talking, but I may have been making comments to what I was watching, or I may have been laughing at something that I have been watching. And then in the end of all of that, and all of a sudden I hear them laughing. So again, you cannot get away from this because people have hacked into our phones, hacked into our microphones, and simply they have um, hacked into our lives. So it's going to mean that because we are in before cameras 24/7, you have really got to watch your step if you do not want to pay the price or the consequences that will come behind your actions. So what I'm saying is that we got to love ourselves. Make sure we put a lot of love out here today. Starting today, starting going on to into tomorrow and going into the rest of this year. Let us show love to one another. Let us just greet one another, although we may not be able to shake hands, but we can at least nod our heads and do anything that we can and let them know that we saw them or we heard them and telling them to have a blessed day. It is important that we send out good vibes into the world. If you want good vibes to be around you, you must also send them out. So I just hope that you just enjoyed this little bit of what my little rambling on, but it is very true that we do need to learn how to love one another and put our arms around one another and be there for each other in our times of need. All right, so if you like what I'm doing, I ask that you like and share. Also, if you're on YouTube, I ask that you like it and hit the notification button if it shows up. Also, subscribe because eventually, sooner or later, there's going to be something that I speak and something that I said that is going to be a total blessing to you. All right, so you have a blessed evening and you have the rest of this day is to be beautiful, just as if it has just started in. All right. You have a blessed, 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 blessed evening. All right.